have to get up pretty early in the morning to catch up with Lisa Jesswein. And so we made a pre-dawn visit to Detroit radio station WDVD-FM to watch this radio personality in action. Meet Lisa of The Morning Show with Blaine Lisa with Allison. Lisa's story is filled with obstacles overcome, a childhood spent in and out of hospitals, yet most people, including her coworkers, don't realize that she has a disability.
The Iraqi TV reporter who tossed his size 10 shoes at President Bush is said to be undergoing questioning. An Iraqi official says the reporter is also being tested for alcohol and drugs. President Bush makes some comparisons about the incident.
You don't do that, not to the President of the United States of America.
Lisa Jesswein has been a part of the Detroit morning commute as an on-air personality for more than 15 years, imitating famous voices, gently lampooning the latest headlines, and delivering the news, traffic, and weather in her own sassy style. Her versatile voice lends itself to commercials.
Yeah, I also not only have I been in radio, but I also do a lot of commercial work. So you've heard my voice on TV and on radio doing commercials, but you know. Recently, when the MGM Grand opened, I was the voice of the MGM Grand. No English, all that. But that was me. Yeah, that was me. Also doing the Chicken Shack commercials. Sunlight, Alabama, do you know them Chicken Shack commercials? So I'm the one doing that. I also got to write those as well.
Lisa is amazing, and she just inspires our kids so much every time she comes in.
I'm a 2-time kidney transplant recipient. I've also battled cancer. I've had my hip replaced. I've had my gallbladder removed. I've had so many different surgeries that I can't even count. So most of my life was spent like this, in the hospital bed. That's me. That's little me.
You're a miracle child.
Yes, I am. Thank you. I am. I think so too. Yeah, this is where I spent a lot of my life, and a lot of the time, both in junior high and high school, was in a bed. But can you notice what's different about that picture of me in the bed?
Young.
Well,
No, I don't mean.
come here. Come here. Now I'm going to make you look at that. You tell me, besides the fact that I'm only like 16 in that picture. What? Smile it. Take me.
How do you stay so positive? Why are you always so happy? And my response would be, well, what's the other option?
That's right.
I go through life angry about the fact that I was given all of these things and my twin sister wasn't, because she's completely healthy. And thank goodness that she was.
Right.
She was my saving grace. She saved my life. And so there really is no other choice than to say, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I accept it and I move on.
So after that happened, then they replaced the hip, and I actually used to have to walk with a cane and a walker. That looks really sweet on a college campus. And that's exactly the way I walked. It was just like that, like this. And I wanted so bad to just be so normal that during Christmas time, I decorated my walker with garland and some lights, so it flashed. I was coming. I had to do something. I had to see I'm coming, got to do that. But once again, that's all about, have a little fun with it. I know it sucks. I knew it did, but I'm like, I got to do something. You can't hide the fact that you're with a walker, so you might as well draw attention to it. Look at me. I'm telling you though, it's a few men that stopped to talk to me. For real, they came over just to say, hey, what kind of injury is that, or what do you do? So then I was like, maybe I ought to keep that walker. Things get slow for me in the social department. I'll take that walker back out again. You never know. So.
No, it doesn't mean that I don't get angry or I don't get upset. I allow myself the luxury of a negative thought, because it is a luxury. And so there are times when I'm in my home and I allow myself to cry, I allow myself to get angry, because I got to get it out of me, and then I pick myself back up and move forward. One of the things when people ask me, how did you know to keep going or moving on or something like that, when I was 16, one of the things that happened, and I tell this story during my speeches, not because I want to make people believe what I believe, but it's a real important part about why I continue to stand up and tell my story. I had a near-death experience, and I recall distinctly seeing a big white light, beautiful bright white light, and I walked directly up to the light, and I could look right at it. It was the most beautiful light I'd ever seen. Like, even thinking about it makes me a little teary, because it was just so gorgeous and peaceful. And I had known almost nothing recently but needles and pain and all of that. So I stood in front of the light and I said, "No more needles, no more pain, please let me stay. No more needles, no more pain, please let me stay." And then I felt a slight push, and I heard the word "no" with like a smile. And my body felt backwards, and I could see my hands kind of moving like this, and stuff was flying by me on either side, but I couldn't focus on it. And when I woke up, I was, in ICU with my ankles and my wrists tied down to a gurney and tubes out of every orifice in my body. And I had no idea what had happened, because I had fallen asleep in my own bed the night before.
Wow.
And it took me about 2 days before I even would tell the story. And all I knew is that, for me, I know where I was and I know who I was in front of. What I don't know and am still discovering is why I was sent back. Oh yeah, I think one of the greatest disabilities is lack of self-esteem and negative thinking.
Oh, yes.
People may not think of that as a disability. I do.
Yeah.
I do. If you can't get up every day and at least find one good thing about the world you live in or about who you are, then that's a disability. And a lot of times too, I don't want someone to say, well, we couldn't possibly relate because I haven't been what you've been through. And the response to that is, well, you know what, you're right. We haven't been maybe through some of the exact situations, but we've had some of the same emotions, feelings, feelings of abandonment, feelings of anger, hurt, frustration. All of those are the same. So that's how we relate. And that's how, when I talk to the kids, I'm not even going to pretend I know what it's like to live in your shoes, as you should not pretend to know what it's like to live in mine. So let's come together on what we do know, is that, you know what, we're here to all support each other and help each other through tough times. And that's what it's all about. I never get out there and speak to kids so that I can compare myself to their life. It's about the fact that I know what it's like to be a teenager and have the odds stacked against you, and to come through it no matter what the situation is. And I want them to know that, you know what, I did it, you can do it no matter what the situation is.
So they brought me in there, and the cool part is this, that I always wanted to make everything fun, right? It's always like, what's going to be fun? You got to choose your flavor of anesthesia, and they were like strawberry, chocolate, so I picked chocolate. Remember? Chocolate, peanut M&Ms, chocolate, yeah. So I picked the chocolate, and I was so excited to be getting a transplant that I was like, I'm going to stay awake. This will be sweet. I'm going to stay awake. Yeah. What an idiot. So I'm lying there, and I have the mask on, and I'm like, my eyes are kind of rolling back, and I'm thinking, this is exciting. I'm going to be awake for my surgery. And the surgeons walked in, and they looked at me, and I don't know why I said this. I don't know what was wrong with me. But he looks over me, and I look at him, and I said, I hope you'll respect me in the morning.
Lisa Jesswein, successful, smart, and beautiful, with a spirit so resilient that nothing prevents her from doing what she was born to do, entertain.